Good morning, I'm Anna Palmer.
And I'm Jake Sherman.
And welcome to the Daily Punch, brought to you by Punchbowl News. It's Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. Let's get into the mix. Here are your Washington headlines of the day. Number one, it's Primary Tuesday, and we've got a preview. Number two, how Dems are framing up election security in 2026. And number three, lawmakers eye new leadership for a NATO group. All right, Jake, let's get into it. Man, every week it feels like it's primary week, but we have a big day to day in key states, including the Sunshine State in Florida, where there are several members and races who are going to be decided that will potentially frame up who will have control of the House.
Yeah. Most importantly, here is Florida. And they're kind of but there's several main storylines here. Number one, there's Corey Mills, the scandal plagued Corey Mills, who has been accused of violent behavior with a girlfriend in a domestic abuse case, and he is facing TV news anchor Ryan Elijah. Mills has been, let's just say this. Ron DeSantis said he is not for Mills. Mike Herodopoulos is not for Mills. Anna Paulina Luna is not for Mills. So there's just a bunch of people who are going out against Corey Mills. And then we have the story of the redraw of the Florida map that is really dominating a lot of things. There's a lot of primaries and seats that were redrawn to favor the GOP, and that is in the Orlando area against Darren Soto. There's a big GOP primary in what's now a Trump plus 18 district in the Tampa area. Kathy Castor is in a Trump plus 11 district from a Trump safe district. And she is running against several people, but including two state reps. We also have Republican primary to take on Jared Moskowitz. And so it's just, the story here is really the redraw of the Florida map and what will come of that, and whether it will be worth it for Republicans, if they'll be able to take out these Democrats, Anna.
Also, big races that we are going to be watching, and so are a lot of key funders of the races. And for the power in the Senate is going to be in Alaska. Four candidates advance for Tuesday's primary, regardless of party, for Alaska's at-large House seat and Senate seat. November's winner is decided by ranked choice tabulation, different than a lot of other places. But this has been a key storyline for Democrats, a bright spot that maybe they were not necessarily expecting. There's Dan Sullivan, who shares a name with incumbent GOP Senator Dan Sullivan on the ballot. Then there's former Representative Mary Peltola. For the at-large House seat, independent Bill Hill is the top challenger to Representative Nick Begich. This is just, it's a scrambled kind of primary here, and this is something that Republicans have been frustrated by. They obviously want to have Sullivan and Begich, with the more liberal candidates, and there's been some different groups spending a lot of money in Alaska, Jake.
Yes, I will predict that Alaska will be it's already a very competitive state, and Peltola is expected to give Dan Sullivan a run for his money. I mean, a lot of people have said to me the entire Senate could come down to Alaska. I don't know that that's true, but that's one theory, and we'll see how that plays out. But yes, very interesting what's going on in the last frontier, Alaska.
All right. Encourage you all to check out the full item by Ali Mutnick and Ann Luchtenmeyer. They go into a bunch of different races that are going to be key to the future of who has control and who's representing different parts of these districts. All right, let's run to the number two story of the morning. While Democrats are in a bullish mood about taking back the House this fall, Representative Joe Morelli, the Democrat from New York, has a warning. President Donald Trump will do everything in his power to prevent electoral loss. Our very own Max Cohen caught up with him about what he sees as potential bad play in different elections, a close ally to Hakeem Jeffries, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, Democrats are going to stand up these task forces.
How do you say that? Task force? I think it's task forces, not task forces.
Yeah, there we go. To try to effectively, they want to be able to be prepared if there is some election crisis. I don't know that there is going to be an election crisis. Donald Trump clearly wants to control Congress, and Democrats think he'll go too far. And so they're trying to be prepared. They're trying to show that they're prepared more than they are, more than anything else. They want to show that they are thinking about this and that they are prepared.
And not caught on their back foot, right? I mean, if
Yeah.
something does happen across the country in different races in different states, you have to remember, we've seen this time and again, not, it might be election day, but votes still have to be counted. Or if there's really tight races, there is a sense, I think on both sides, frankly, that they want to be ready to make sure that things are counted in the appropriate way. And something we'll be watching very closely as people put more money into that as the election gets closer. Let's go on to the number 3 story of the morning. The Senate NATO group eyes new leaders. Man, Jean Shaheen and Tom Tillis, those are 2 names we have talked a lot about on this podcast, and their efforts to support NATO and kind of give voice to the need for NATO as a strong ally. They are both leaving the Senate, and that leaves a big void here when it comes to this area of policy.
Yeah, this is and also, by the way, I'll say they lost one of their other leaders when Jerry Connolly of Virginia died just a couple of years, or last year, I think it was about a year ago. In the mix, Mike Rounds, Angus King, Chris Coons, and John Curtis. This is a group that goes to NATO summits and is involved in the whole NATO thing and the whole NATO situation. So a great item here by Brianna and Anthony, and we'll see. As the item notes, they're probably not going to make any decisions until next Congress, but a great item on who is looking to be more NATO involved.
All right, we will leave it there. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate it. If you like the Daily Punch, share it on social media, tell your friends. It's the best way to find out about us. And of course, you can go deeper on all these items and more by going to punchbowl.news. Have a great day and stay safe, everybody.